Good morning and welcome back to Plannercraft. I'm Natalie and today we're going to be finishing off the Your Votes Count from Saturday. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, that's where you need to go search for after the show. So far we've used our Pretty Gets Gritty drawing guides and the layering stencil that we created last Wednesday and the iCraft.
Good morning today.
Go on then.
Yeah, Delcy. Morning, Delcy.
Morning, Delcy.
Deb.
Morning, Deb.
Linda.
Hi, Linda.
And Carol's yawning. And Sally Ann's here as well.
I'm yawning with you, Carol, because let's just say it's not been a very long time since I woke up. Ian, on the other hand, has been up and about, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's much more of a morning person than I am. As we want to see the inside of our card, I'm going to go back to my stamp set. And if you remember last time, we finished off by drawing around the front panel of our card, so we know roughly where we're aiming, and we have a top folding card that's inside our little gatefold card. So let's plan out roughly where I want to go. So I want a sentiment that's going to go into the little heart shape. And then my thinking was that I keep this area down here pretty clear. And then fill the rest of the card with our flowers so that we can have a nice bold image. Yeah, I didn't sleep well last night, did I? So I think I finally got off at about 5 o'clock for the alarm to go off at 6. And then I woke myself up before the alarm went and convinced myself that it was 8 o'clock and I'd already missed the stream. Oh dear, then nodded back off again. Not good. So I'm going to start off by doing my stamping for my background. So just give myself a little bit more room. I'm going to move my little pot out the way for a moment. I'm just bringing my stamp platform. Now I think I'm going to go for my bigger one today. There we go. It's a little bit easier. Well, I woke up at 3 feeling like I'd had a snake crawl on my head or something. It was not good. Completely the whole day out of bed and whatnot. So, don't have any pets. So, I'm just hoping we don't find a snake somewhere because I really don't like snakes. Okay, so I'm just being really careful about positioning the stamp because of that aperture just here. And I'm just going to pull it down very slightly. So it's mimicking that kind of heart shape but without actually overlapping it. Also being mindful of the gap there. So I think with that I'm going to go right there. Now very gently going to lower my stamp platform and pick that up. And let's go for the squid ink today. So are you all having a crafty day today, or are you all too hot and thinking, I'm trying to make the most of the heat doing those things that usually take ages to dry or set.
Joyce has just joined us, says good morning, and Emma Jane says good evening.
Good evening, Emma Jane, and hello, Joyce. So by covering most of our background with our bigger stamp, that means that we can use our layering stencil to colour quickly if we want to. And we don't have to use the same colouring medium inside. Okay. So just because this next stamp's going to move, I'm just going to move my magnets out of the way for a second. And get my cloth.
Sally Ann says she's full of 2 cards this morning.
Cool.
And then says, oh, that's a lovely stamp.
It is a lovely stamp. And I have to thank my mum who spotted this and got it for me. Because I've been after some big floral stamps to colour for ages. Let's go this way round. I think it's going to fit that corner better. And put that up there. So now I'm going to put my magnet just there. Now on this side it's a bit trickier with these magnets because you've got a rim down this side of the stamp platform. So you just have to go that little bit more careful. Bring that one in a bit. Have I done reversing a stamp on a string yet? I don't think I have I? Yeah.
No, you could do that later in the week.
Might be a nice one to do, I think, this one.
Darcy's asked, is the squid ink okay for alcohol markers?
Yes, it's one of the reasons I like it, is that it will work with alcohol markers, it will work with watercolour. I've not found anything yet that it doesn't like, which is tends to mean that I go for that one automatically without really using the others. Which.
And Joyce says, have you checked out Stamps by Me?
Yes.
Tony does some large stamps.
Yes, and Thirsty Brush, when we saw them at CHSI, had some as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's going back to them, that's February last year.
Yeah. And Tracy says, morning gang.
Morning!
Or evening for you, Tracy.
So what do we all think to the new time? Are you enjoying it? The only thing we don't know how it's going to work is if you start early, is it? So we'll see how that goes. So before I go too far, let's go for... There's two that we could use. We could go for Sending Sunshine and Warm Hugs, or We're Better Together. And I think I'm going to go Sending Sunshine.
Emma Jane says she loves it, it means I get to watch live.
Cute. Cute. Okay. So I'm going to pop that into the centre of my little art aperture. Over we go.
This time it has to be strict to the hour, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, because you've got to get ready for work after. So I've got to be strict on myself today. And we know how difficult that can be for me some days. Yeah. I never want to stop colouring. Okay, so now we can use our little stamps. So if you remember, this set's got a set of leaves that we can start to actually build up our design with. So let's move that one over there. try and do it in such a way that we can at least join the dots. I don't want it to interfere with those little arrows. That's not good. As I'm here, I'm going to clean that off quickly.
James, that's what are you making? Is it a mixed media piece or a card?
It's a card. Did Tracy not see part 1? I don't think she did.
I don't know.
I think we had the other Tracy watching, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a card, and it's a bit of a fancy card, this one.
Jane, that's what does mixed media mean? I'll let you explain that.
Okay, mixed media means that you are mixing up potentially loads of different media into a project. It usually starts off with a gesso base, and then you can build it up from there with like gel medium, texture paste, and that is something I get to do a lot with Pretty Gets Pretty. So I have to say the samples that I'm doing at the moment are absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to show you, but I've got to be good. Not allowed to yet.
This is obviously.
Okay.
Is that beautiful supposed to go to?
That was the one your votes count, wasn't it? Or was it the Pretty Gets Pretty one? Might be the Pretty Gets Pretty one. Yeah, so I'm live on Pretty Gets Pretty on Friday for those of you that want to find out more about mixed media. And there's going to be a little bit of scan and cut this week. I know, shock horror. Because I'm going to be doing apertures with the drawing stencils. So if you're getting the drawing stencils and you want to know how you can use the two together, then that is definitely going to be one you're going to want to watch. Now, just because I want to try and make this look a bit different on this left hand side to the right, I'm going to grab a flower.
Tracy says your mixed media pieces are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And she still remembers the timepiece you did. That was awesome.
I wish I could show you one of the tiny pieces I was working on yesterday on stream, but I can't. But I still got to Tracy because I was naughty. There we go. Okay. So you could carry on and fill that entire panel if you want to, but I'm just conscious, as Ian said, of time. I think I might just stick another leaf just there.
Emma Jane says in a few days she's joining a Zoom call for an art class in England doing
Cool.
painting. Excited. I'm so excited.
Cool. Who with? I have a very good friend, don't I, that does a lot of online teaching since the start of the lockdown.
Yeah.
She's done a couple for us on our channel, but she also works with Derwent a lot. So that's how come we met, really, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's that?
Saying it's been used to keep it shut.
No, it should be fine. Oh. So, now I need my pastels, and to make this a little bit quicker, I'm going to do all my red colouring and then I'll do all my green colouring. So we're going to need start with that to start with. So can you all see that okay on screen? You can tell me to budge it up a little if you want.
Pastels are okay, might need to move it just a tad. The card.
Okay. Let's think. If I do this one first, that should be easy enough for you to see, shouldn't it? So I'm going to twist this round. Like so. And let's grab a few cotton. So again, if you have little eyeshadow applicators that aren't doing anything, you can use those.
It's a place called Mimosas. Mimosas and masterpieces.
Be really interested to see what you come out with there. So pop it in the group.
I did briefly count, if you just refresh the page it should disappear.
What's that?
I don't know, I was getting the live video interrupted message or something.
Okay. So let's get the next one. Get it around the right way. Find the outline. There we go.
Still broadcasting. Comes and goes.
Okay, it could just be a signal thing, couldn't it? Okay, so now down here, I'm going to come and do this one. So I'll try and get this as far up as possible, just so that you can see it.
Are those sinks now or like powder?
These are pastels, so they're kind of closer, I think, to eyeshadow, so that's how I would say think of them. And make this one a little bit stronger. Okay, swap back to my other stencil. So with your layering stencils, you can use your inks, you can use chalks or pastels like I'm doing here. Basically anything you can normally stencil with. So if you've got a stencil brush and some stencil sticks like the wax sticks or oil sticks, and you can use those too. Is the router playing up? So again, just going to go in with some more colour, build it up around here. There we go. So this time I'm going to line this one up here. And this is where we can start to do our shading. So I'm going to go back to my darker ready tones down here and here. But as I'm starting to come up here, I'm just going to do little dots of it, and we can always blend with a clean bit of cotton wool wood after. So that's going to help us give our petal a bit of form. So just going to blend that out. And then we can just get in here and just check that all that's blended too.
Josie, after you made those stencils in the first video, when did you make those?
The stencils we did Wednesday off the top of my head. So that's when we were using the pencil tool. And we literally did a manual trace around our stamp. Okay. And done. Now find me a little bit. Not that one. I've lost one. Where's it gone? What's I done with that? Because I had it this morning. Ah, it's hiding underneath there.
The stencil's just Mylar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just Mylar. So.
You put it out on the scan and cut.
Yep. Yep. We get ours from Jackson's here in the UK.
What about the Jane Davenport, aren't they, Pastels?
Yes. Yes, they're a part of a prize that I won. But I did put up a link on the group to get them on Amazon. It's an affiliate link, so it helps the channel out a little. Or you can get them direct from Jane's site, which is definitely a good idea if you are in Australia. So these came over from Australia, didn't they? On the
Yeah, on the slow boat.
yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use a bit the ready tone here. I'm going to bring it in a bit of the pink. And then we had like an orangey tone flower here, so I'm going to try and pull a bit of that colour in too. And each time you'll see that I start off going round the centre of my flower. That's because that's where the darkest colour would be by nature. So it means that we can start to shade without worrying too much. So this is the separate little flower, so I don't have a layering template for these yet, but no doubt I will go and do one at some point. So if you want me to repeat anything on that, let me know. I'll use it as an excuse to get my flower done. Okay, so that's pretty much my pinks. Next, I need my little berry stencil. And these just overlap here. I'm going to get a fresh cotton wool wood, and let's go for, let's try a little bit of chocolate and see how that looks. Yeah, let's go for chocolate instead. So I'm just going to dot that in there. Now, because they are pastels, you just want to go careful that you're blowing away any excess when you're done, so it doesn't stay in the card and smudge. Line this one up here.
No, I don't think Facebook's that well. It's playing up.
No, Facebook has been playing up since they've done a whole load of changes, and they're doing a whole load of changes for groups as well, with upvoting, like Reddit style, which I don't necessarily think is a good way to go. Okay, there we go. How are we doing for time, Ian? Lovely.
Just going up half past. Another half hour to go.
Okay, so I'm going to change my pastels, and I'm going to, not that one, chilled, which is all blues, greens and purples. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dark green for those areas that I know need the extra push.
Your mum's just joined us as well.
Morning, Mum. So, then I'm going to go yellow-green. And I'm not changing my cotton wool bud because it can just mix on the cotton wool bud. On that one. Oh, nearly missed one. A little bit more yellow on that. There we go. And again up here. So this one twists a little bit more up here. Oh, not that one. There we go.
You want to do it for me.
Oh, it's okay, Mum. I won't tell you off.
Here's watching on YouTube.
I'll pop a little bit more there. A bit more there. A little bit up here. A little bit there. And here. Now I've gone back to the yellow-green to blend out the rest of the leaf. Don't forget we have that additional layer as well that we can go on the top, so almost time is kind. How am I doing again, Ian?
Hmm?
How am I doing?
Cool. It was about 2 minutes ago we left this one.
Okay. Now for the next one. So we ended up splitting our leaves across our stencils so that we could get to all of the leaves.
Drew the girl next to you.
What, this one? No, it actually comes in the kit for you to practice on. So part of my prize was actually to do Jane's online classes as well, so I have been having a whale of a time. But one of the rules is that I don't show my homework, so I can't show my homework. But as soon as I start to get into finished pieces, I can share those and you can see what I've been doing. Right, I think I've got all of them now. Right, up to this one. You alright?
Mm-hmm.
What's up? How come you're only going to put everyone? Oh, silly Natty should have realised that we what we doing. So I've gone to the bluey green that we used on some of the leaves on the front, so that we can have a bit of a change. Whew. And next.
Jane, that's so pretty. Could you use mica powder just to...
Yes. Yep. So long as your mica will stick to your surface, so if you're using something like Perfect Pearls, you could stencil first with Versamark and then do that over the top, or your little Perfect Medium ink pads. Okay, so this one. Let's go for a green centre this time. It's going to be nice and dark, that one. Okay. Go a bit softer up here. I'm going to go back to that yellow green. Blend that out. Okay. Again, I think I've got all of them. So let's move that up here.
Yeah, so it's going to be sent some of that sunshine now. It's been dreary here all day, now getting cold.
You are absolutely welcome to it, Emma. I would just say. We are not coping well with the heat.
No, we're not heat lovers, are we?
No. No, we're British. We moan about the rain and we'll moan about the sun.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
British birthright.
Yeah. To moan about the weather. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my bluey green for some of these too. So you're going to get a really good range of greens going through our foliage.
No, I can send it to us during our winter.
But if we can send our sunshine, that also means that we can send our snow. Just trying to see, this one leaf is just eluding a bit of colour. So let's grab these. Not on that one. Oh, there is one though. Let's get that one lined up. And it's that a little bit just there. Nice, quick and easy, that one. And again, line it up. So that's that one done. This one gets a little tricky, especially if you don't have the right way around to start with. That way, there we go. We get there eventually. with these little half sections. I'm just going to go in with some darker green. Try and spot them where they are. Because I did them in random places across my design. It makes it a little bit trickier for this section. Just trying to see where they are. Oh, this one. So that's that one done. And that's all down there. Oop. And there we go.
Okay, do iCraft have their own website for the stamps?
This particular set is currently in stock on the craft store.
And then you can't find it in there. It's the only one that
Oh,
the jewellery one.
I did pop up a link to it on the group. It's called Shining Glory. So if you try and search that, because that's how I did it.
There's the link to the craft store for the stamps to do the company iCraft.
Do they have?
Website.
They may not have a website that goes direct to public, is what I'm thinking.
Maybe trade ones again.
Yeah, well, it's manufacturer, isn't it? They don't often. Mind you, that's changed a bit with lockdown. Some do now, don't they? But trying to think where else you might get them. Hey, Mum, any ideas? So I'm just going to use my cotton wool bud very carefully, because obviously with these we haven't got our layering templates done. So I'm just going to go through. And you can do your shading first and then go all over it in green, or do it all over in green and then do your shading. It's not really going to make a huge amount of difference. If you do need to clear up any pastel after, you can use just a little electric razor. Yeah, eraser. Come on, Mav. I know it's early in the morning. Jeez. I have to say, I'm usually better than this in the morning. Usually. I think I should be able to clip his ear roll for that little snigger there. What do you think, guys? So, let's go to the blue-green for a change this time. That's the yellow-green. So by changing those colours, it's always going to make your leaves look much more dimensional. Now, if you do need to finish up any of your line work, what I would say is do that before applying your colour, because the pastels can interfere with your pen. So if you didn't see that bit of the stream on Saturday, I will put that little rider in there, because there's nothing worse than clogging up a fine liner over pastel. Either that or get yourself some cheap ones that you don't mind using once and throwing away. Okay, so think I just need to fill in a little bit on our individual flower. Yes. Yeah, I can see exactly what I mean by that. I'm going to come round the bottom here. I'm using the very tip of my cotton wool bud. So if you've got like a applicator that's got a pointy end on it, you can use that for this little section just here. I think it just needed that little extra colour to just help it sit better with the other ones now that they're all done. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of colour into the centre of my flower. Now I have got this on a separate stencil, but to be honest, it's just as easy. Just go in there and just tap the colour in, like so. Okay. And very quickly, can I find my eraser? Didn't add it out for anything, have I? It's probably been buried down towards the centre or something.
No, it's one down the back.
I'll be by. There we go. Thank you.
It's okay.
So, last thing to do is give everything a good tidy up. So, first of all, get rid of any bits that have gone in there. So basically, anywhere where you've got a little smudge or you've gone outside the lines, you can just go in with an electric eraser and just take those lines out, because we don't need those anymore. So what we'll do next is just go around there. And then, okay. And for the rest, I can just use good old plastic eraser. So plastic erasers are good in that they tend to keep all their rubbings into larger pieces rather than having to fish out lots of tiny pieces like you will do with the electric one. So. Okay.
Is iCraft Australian, did you say?
Jane Davenport is where you get the squid ink from and the pastels that I'm using. I'm not sure about iCraft actually. If Sarah Lou was watching, I think Sarah Lou would have a better idea, because I believe that she's on their DT, or at least she used to be. A lot of the DTs are changing currently, so I'm coming to the end of my DT at Rainier. And they're looking for new people if you want to have a go. Just always read T's and C's carefully. So, let's see. So the website for iCraft is iCraftDesign.com. And does it say... No, it doesn't say whether it's UK or not. I would say it might be American. But it doesn't say.
iCraft Design.
iCraftDesign.com. So no S. So there we are. And if you wanted to, you could put that same heart dash line around the outside that we did on our front panel, but I think just like that is pretty enough. There's one little bit I'm just going to take out just there. There we go. Now, I mustn't fiddle, as we told off.
Russian maybe.
Hmm?
Russian maybe.
Russian.
Indian.
Hang on! Any other bit of the globe you want to go to, Ian?
They're in India.
They're in India, there you go.
Mumbai. Yeah.
So yeah, there are a couple of upcoming places for craft stuff. So India is one of them. So you can get yourself some really unusual things from there. And the other, as Ian says, is Russia. So there's a particular Russian company that I rather like their dyes, and I'm trying to build up the courage to actually order from them. Yes.
There you go.
So, any questions before we go today? I really like that. I think that's really nice, that. I think I might even try and find a nice insert to go in there, because I think that would finish it off nicely. Or should I do... There you are. That's what I'll do. I'll do an insert with a scan and cut.
Is that tomorrow, is it? What have we got plans for tomorrow?
I need to finish off the mermaid and the card from last night, don't I, tomorrow? So I'll do that tomorrow, and then Thursday I will do creating inserts. Because we haven't really done that, have we?
No. So yes, same time tomorrow. So we're back at 8 AM tomorrow. We'll be in live as he wakes up.
I'll clip his ear roll later.
But yes, we'll be back same time tomorrow. Won't we?
Yes. Yes. And as soon as I can show you naughty bits, I will certainly be showing you what I've been working on.
Beautiful card, Natalie.
Thank you.
From Louise Cole. Beautiful from Deb. And then this is really beautiful, Natalie. Thank you so much.
That's okay. We enjoy it really, don't we? Once we get over the nose.
Emma says enjoy your day, guys. What?
Yeah, well, today I'm going to be creating more samples. So I'm not going to be about online much. So if you do want to get hold of me for any reason, do it by Facebook Messenger, and I'm more likely to see what you're asking than if you just pop it on the group. So over on the group we have the final challenge for you to upload your entries to. If you want to find out more about that, you can drop me a message and I'll break that down, but there's an announcement post on the group that kind of talks you through it. And I think that's everything. So take care for now, have a good day, keep cool, drink lots. If you're in Australia, keep warm, drink lots. Hot chocolate.
So you said to everybody get the block piece.
I think it should. Tracy's referring to the blog piece that I said about during yesterday's stream. So if you haven't found that yet, that is up on plannercraft.uk, and it will be one of the featured posts that goes along the top. Tracy's very kindly done a comparison of design software, so not just covering what to use for your scan and cut, but also if you want to get into DieSub, or if you want to start actually using print on demand services, which can be a good way bringing in some money. It's hard work, but once you start to get a following, it starts to pay off. Excuse me. And it's one of the benefits of going this time, isn't it, that you can come along and help.
Yeah.
Oh,
You done?
and try not to sneeze.
Okay. I'll say goodbye before you get to the sneezing point, and then we'll.
Okay, so I'll say bye-bye.
Email me mine. You don't get an email.